Sticking to issues up within the north there and related to NPR-A and Greater Moose's Tooth-1. As I mentioned in my opening comments, we're kind of at a stall out or a standstill here with GMT1 regarding the outstanding issue of measuring production. I think we're hopefully done with the mitigation piece, but BLM is proposing this dedicated test separator as opposed to the multi-phase metering and allocation methodologies that are currently being used on state land, have been used on state land for decades. Alaska Oil and Gas Conservation Commission, AOGCC, has been working with EPA for years. There's never been an issue. There's never been a problem. But now we've got coming out of Interior and BLM saying, well, you have to have this separate metering system, this test separator, and appreciation and understanding in terms of what the costs then do to the project. It's not only been the operator Conoco that is saying this just isn't reasonable. You've got the state of Alaska that has weighed in. You have the Arctic Slope Regional Corporation, which has objected to the requirement because of the added costs without appreciable benefits. So I guess the question to you is, have you engaged with AOGCC regarding this added requirement and why you think that the way it's been done for the past several decades is not sufficient, and what we can do to resolve this? Because I think it is somewhat telling that it's been decades now that Conoco has been trying to get something going within the NPR-A, and we still haven't seen a drop of anything. So we'd like to get there. We thought that Conoco was going to be able to sanction this project this season, and of course they haven't. Where are we with this additional requirement for a test separator?
So the question that we're trying to work out is, basically the error rate. What kind of confidence can we have in how much oil is flowing through those pipelines?
But have you talked with AOGCC about the confidence that they have and have had for years now?
Yeah. So the system that ConocoPhillips has put forward, as you noted, has been used on state lands and under AOGCC authority. We look at that. We have ConocoPhillips operates on BLM lands in southern Alaska and places like New Mexico, and they've been meeting the standard that we have in place, which is roughly a 0.35 error rate. The system that they're putting forward likely has an error rate of somewhere between 4 and 10%, and it's hard to verify. So have
we ever had problems though with the Alaska methodology?
Well, I'm not sure there have been problems, but we certainly have some difference in the demand we're putting forward in terms of the error rate. So we have a very important responsibility to make sure that the American taxpayer and the tribes that we work with and other native populations.
Well, right now the American taxpayer is getting 100% of nothing. And the tribes, the native corporations are not being benefited at all because there is no production.
Yeah.
So we've got a situation where Conoco is prepared to say we can't make this pencil out. We just can't make it pencil out. And so if you're trying to talk benefits here. Again, if those that are willing to invest hundreds of millions of dollars into a project and have nothing to show for it and may be forced to walk away from this project, walk away from this investment because of an overlay of a requirement that, again, adds substantial cost with, again, minimal to no appreciable benefit. It causes people to say, this doesn't make any sense. And this is where I think the administration gets the black mark in saying, You know, you say you support an all-of-the-above energy policy. You say you support increased production or production on the National Petroleum Reserve, Alaska, but you're not doing much to facilitate it. We just can't figure out how we can't come together to make sense on this. You see my point?
I do. And our goal is to get to production on Greater Moose's Tooth, and I believe we will get there. You know, part of the more complicated situation that we're within is that one, ConocoPhillips is meeting the standard elsewhere where they operate on BLM lands in Alaska and in the lower 48. So there's no surprises here.
But they would have to build a completely separate system, up north within NPR-A.
Well, I mean, it is
a redundant system at extraordinary cost.
Depends on what your standards are, right? So we are held to a very high standard at the Bureau of Land Management.
And I think Alaska has led in terms of the standard. If the system was not working for us up there, I think that there's probably more room for discussion.
Yeah.
But nobody has ever questioned the soundness, the validity, the reliability, and that's where I think we've got somewhat an impasse. Yeah.